Hey, third grade, we have been working in geometry, and you guys have been doing really well with polygons and quadrilaterals. You just took that quiz for me last week, and you did really, really well. I was amazed how well you guys did, especially since we're doing this online and we're not in the classroom like normal. You guys are doing awesome. In geometry, we are going to be moving forward to area and perimeter, which I'm excited about because you guys are already really familiar with area and perimeter. We've practiced it in number corner, we've practiced it in math class a little bit, so I think you guys are going to do really well with this, and I think it's pretty fun. We actually are going to start this lesson by looking at a book that we read together in school once. If you remember, we read this like up on the smartboard, the 329th Friend. And this book is actually going to help us understand area and perimeter a little bit better. So as I'm reading, I want you to think about what you know about area and perimeter and how, what that has to do with this book. I think last time we were reading this book, we were thinking about multiplication. So this time, we're thinking about area and perimeter. Emery Raccoon woke up, dragged himself out of bed, and made a face. "Another day with Emery Raccoon," he said. "Who needs it?" Emery looked at the mirror. "Blah. The thought of spending another day with myself makes me want to go back to bed." Emery went to his kitchen and ate a dish of cold mashed potatoes. "There is only one thing more boring than cold mashed potatoes. Me." Emery looked out the window. "Maybe there's somebody out there who will think I'm more fun than cold mashed potatoes," he said. "Maybe there is somebody out there who will come over here and be my friend." Emery got dressed and went out. "I'll invite somebody over," he said, "or a couple of somebodies. Maybe 3 would be nice. 4 might be even better. 5 would be almost as good as 6. Emery thought for a while, and then he invited 328 guests to lunch. 328 new friends and rotten old me, he said. Then Emery peeled 329 potatoes, picked 329 bunches of vegetables, cracked and cooked 329 eggs, and baked 329 tarts. "I hope nobody wants seconds," he thought. Emery went to his yard and set some tables. "I'm glad I own a lot of tables, dishes, and glasses and silverware," he said, as he set out 329 spoons, 329 forks, and 329 knives. "And now for the napkins. I don't have napkins." "Oh well," said Emery, as he cut up 12 bed sheets into neat little squares. After he'd picked 329 bouquets of flowers and put them in 329 vases on the tables, Emery heard a loud noise. "My new friends are coming," he said. "It sounds like an army. A big, friendly army. Rumble, rumble." Emery's guests arrived one by one and in pairs, 3s, 4s, 5s, 10s, 20s, and 50s. "Hello, Possum," said Emery. "Hello, Squirrel," said Emery. "Hello, Bear, Bear, and Baby Bear. Hello, Spiders. Hello, Toads. Hello, Porcupine and Porcupine. Hello, Goose. Hello, Squirrel." They say, "Hello, hello." And these ones say, "Hello, hello, 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 hello." "Glad to see you," said Emery 328 times. "Glad you could come and come and come and come and come." My goodness, all of his guests just keep showing up. Emery's guests swarmed over every inch of space, and when they all talked at one time, it sounded like a great roar. A great friendly roar, thought Emery. Emery's guests sat down to eat. Crunch, munch, chew, bite, swallow, gulp. Certainly sounds different than one raccoon eating mashed potatoes all by himself, thought Emery. Emery sat down at the head of the longest table and started to eat. "Please pass the ketchup," he said, but nobody answered him. "Please pass the ketchup," said Emery in a louder voice. but still nobody answered him. That's rude. "Ketchup!" yelled Emery. Nobody paid any attention to him. "Maybe eggs taste better without ketchup," thought Emery as he looked down at his eggs. Then he turned toward Owl, who was sitting to his right. "Eggs taste better without ketchup," said Emery. But Owl was talking to Mouse. Emery turned to his left. "Have you ever eaten eggs without ketchup?" he asked Possum. But Possum was busy munching and crunching. Maybe it's easier to talk to somebody than Maybe it's easier to talk to everybody than somebody, thought Emery. "I will stand up and everybody will notice." Emery stood up. "Ahem," he said. Nobody looked at Emery. "Emery Raccoon is speaking," yelled Emery. But everyone just kept on talking and eating and talking. Emery gnashed his teeth. "I cooked. I set tables. I picked flowers. I cut up sheets. I worked my paws to the bone, but nobody talks to me. Everyone has a friend here but me." Emery picked up his dishes, his glasses, his silverware, his napkin, and his vase of flowers. "Excuse me," he said to his 328 guests, even though he knew no one was listening to him. Emery went inside and spread a tablecloth on the floor. He took a bottle of ketchup from his refrigerator and put it on the tablecloth, and then he carefully placed his dishes and glass next to the ketchup. He set his silverware in neat rows beside his dishes. He placed the vase of flowers in the center of the tablecloth, and then he turned on his record player to soft music. He tucked his napkin under his chin. Then he picked up his fork and started to eat. "Everything looks tasty, Emery," he said. "Glad you think so, Emery. Please pass the ketchup, Emery." "My pleasure, Emery." "Fine meal. You're a perfect host, Emery." "And you're a perfect guest, Emery." "Thank you, Emery." Emery hummed to the music while he ate. "I have a good hum," he said. "I should hum more often." He told himself a joke in his head, and he laughed. "I should tell myself a joke more often," he said. He thought about interesting things he hadn't thought about in a long time. He made up an exciting story, but he saved the ending for another day to surprise himself. When Emery finished eating, he leaned back. "I am full of something good, and it's more than lunch. I am full of myself. What a good friend I am. I know what I'm thinking. I know what I'm feeling. I am quiet, but I hum nicely. I even have fine table manners. I am an exactly right friend. How lucky I am to have a friend such as me." Suddenly, Emery remembered his guests. He ran outside, humming. "Emery!" shouted his guests. "Where have you been?" "My name is Bayard," said the Owl. "That's a nice hum you have, and your eggs taste fine without ketchup." "Definitely," said Possum. "I'm Rosalind, and you set a great table." "I agree," said Mouse. "Alonzo Mouse here. I was just asking, where is our friend Emery?" "Well, as you see, our friend Emery Raccoon is right here," said Emery with a smile. After lunch, each of Emery's 328 friends said, "Thank you, Emery," and some said, "Please come to my house very soon." "I will," said Emery. Emery said goodbye to Bayard Owl, Rosalind Possum, Alonzo Mouse, the Goat Twin, Zachary and Wackery, Mrs. Elephant, and her son Maurice, Anastasia, and Joe Toad, the Barbara Spider Family, Irving Fox, Marjorie and Mitchell Mouse, the John Chipmunk Jug Band, Miss Imogene Squirrel, and all his other new friends. Have safe trips home," he said. Then he got to work. "Everybody used a main dish and a dessert dish and a glass," he said. "That's 3 times 329, which is 987. Everybody used a fork, knife, and spoon. That's another 987. So I have 1,974 things to wash, and 329 squares of torn up sheets to clean, and approximately 100,000 crumbs to sweep. But it's worth it. Today I found a good friend I never noticed before. Today Emery Raccoon found Emery Raccoon." Emery washed and cleaned and swept into the night. When he was all finished, Emery had some tea and toast with his 329th friend and thought, what good company he was. Remember, we talked a little bit about how it was cool that Emery learned that he was good company for himself, right? He didn't have to be quite as lonely, but it was also really nice that he made some friends. Alrighty, so I am going to share my screen. We are going to work on some things. For area and perimeter, we are actually going to think about tables that Emery would have set up and the guests that would have been at his tables. So here we have a table. This little blue square is representing a table, and the lines that go around it are representing guests that are sitting at Emery's table. So if you see here, the area of this is one blue square, one square, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 guests that can fit at that one table, okay? 4 guests can fit at one table. So I'm gonna show that for us over here. So here's one table, and 1, 2, 3, 4 guests can sit at that table. So let me ask you this, if I put 2 tables together, how many guests do you think would be able to sit there? Go ahead and say it out loud to someone. If I had 2 tables right next to each other to make like one long rectangular table instead of one square table, how many guests would be able to sit at this table? If 4 can sit here, how many can sit at 2 tables? You might be thinking, or you might have told somebody 8, right? Because we think, oh, well, 2 times 4 is 8. But actually, with area and perimeter, it works out a little differently because watch. 1 guest, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 4 guests can sit at one table, one square table. But when I put them together, I've actually only gained 2 more places. Now 6 guests can sit here because I can't put guests here in the middle. See how I put these 2 tables together? I can't squish somebody here in the middle. They would get squished. They wouldn't have anywhere to sit, right? When you put 2 tables together, you actually only have a perimeter of 6. So my perimeter here is 4 and my perimeter here is 6. Let's try it with 3 tables. What if we put together 3 tables for Emery's friends? Let's see what our perimeter will be. If you think you already know, you can say it out loud. What will our perimeter be when I have an area of 3 squares? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My perimeter here is 8. My perimeter is 8 and my area is 3 squares. And we're going to keep working on area and perimeter. I want to think about this. These are some different ways that we can arrange the squares. And you'll notice that you can do it in different ways, okay? You can do it in different ways, and it can have different shapes, but I would like us to see if we still get the same perimeter. Okay, so let's try that. Let's arrange 4 tables in some different ways. So let's see, we'll put 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and let's put 1 down here. It'll be kind of a funny shaped table. So our area is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Our area is 4. Let's see what our perimeter is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Our perimeter is 10 here. 10 guests could sit at these tables of the area is 4. Now, what if I arrange my tables differently? Do you think that the perimeter will change or stay the same? My area is the same. I'm still just using 4 squares, but what if I put them all together like this? Put them all together like that. Sorry, messy. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Isn't that interesting that when you put the tables together that way, you actually lose 2 seats. You have less room for all of Emery's guests, right? There's actually less perimeter when you put them together this way. The perimeter is only 8. Here our perimeter was 10. Okay, and that's just an important thing to know, that depending on how you put your squares, you can actually change what the perimeter looks like. So we are going to do some student workbook pages together. You should have your workbook with you. One thing we're going to work on is rounding, which we haven't done in a while. So this will be really good review. We know that Emery had 329 people at his party, right? Including him. He invited 328 plus 1 himself, 329. We're going to round 329 to the nearest 10. So that means we're looking at our 9, and our 9 is going to make us round up to 330. 330 should be written here. And if we're rounding to the nearest 100, 329, we look at the 2, and the 2 is less than 5, so that means we're rounding down to 300. So when we round to the nearest 10, it's 330. When we round to the nearest 100, it's all the way down to 300, okay? How about 184? Think about it. Tell somebody next to you. 184. If we round to the nearest 10. 184. 4 is less than 5, so this is going to round down to 180. If we round to the nearest 100, we're going to round up to 200 because 8 is bigger than 5, so this rounds up to 200. If you need to pause the video and write those in, you can. 180, 200. How about 2,532? Well, first let's round to the nearest 10. 2 is smaller than 5, so it's going to round down to 2,530. 2,530. The nearest 100, 3 is also a small number. It's less than 5, so this is going to round down to 2,500. 2,500. Okay, I want you to pause the video and I want you to finish this chart on your own right now. Do your very best job, and if you make mistakes, when I show you the answer key, you can just erase your mistakes and fix it, okay? Pause the video now and finish. All right, so you should have finished this chart, and I will show you what the answers look like. Okay, make sure that you have these correct. You can pause and fix your mistakes, and we are going to move on. Emery Raccoon in his lunch guess used 329 spoons, 329 forks, and 329 knives. So how many pieces of silverware did they use in all? Show your work. Okay, so we could do this a couple different ways. We could do 329. You can write this down with me, plus 329. Okay, and when we get our answer, we'll add another 329, right? Because let's look, we have to add it 1, 2, 3 times for this word problem. So let's see, 9 plus 9 is 18. 2 plus 2 plus 1 is 5, and 3 plus 3 is 6. Good, so now we need to add another 329. Okay, what's 8 plus 9? I know 8 plus 8 is 16, so 8 plus 9 must be 17. 1 plus 5 plus 2. 8, good job. 6 plus 3? 9. So 987 is our answer. We could also solve this by multiplication. You could do 329 times 3, because we have it 3 times, right? Times 3. Sorry, that's not a very good times sign. Times 3. 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 2 is 6, 7, 8. And 3 times 3 is 9. We get the same answer, 987. Okay, so go ahead and write your answer there. I'll show you the answer key. It should be 987 pieces of silverware. Do not forget the words. It's a word problem. It needs a word answer. Okay, pause your video while you write that in. And then we're ready to move on. I want you to practice. You're going to complete these multiplication problems, and you're going to also do these add or subtract problems. Okay? Pause the video now while you're working on that. And when you finish, you can use the answer key to help you. You should not be copying from the answer key, or you will not be prepared for 4th grade. Copying does not help you learn. All right, you should be done with that, and you can check your answers here, okay? Pause the video to fix your mistakes if you made any mistakes. All right, and we have a challenge question. Emery tore up 10 sheets to make 330 napkins. How many napkins did he make out of each sheet? So what you're really thinking about is it's really a division problem. I will give you a few minutes to try this on your own if you want. You could just pause and take a few minutes now, and then I'll show you the answer. If you tried the challenge question, your answer is 33 napkins. You needed to divide 330 by 10. And when you divide by 10, you're really just you're taking away that 0. So it's 33 napkins. All right, we are going to move on to page 205. Page 205. Okay, Rodney Rabbit invited 17 of his pals over to play board games. We're going to use tiles and red linear units. We're not going to use those. We're just going to draw to create many different rectangular arrays so that you can allow all 18 players to sit at the same table. So we're going to sketch each array, and we don't have to use a red colored pencil if you don't want to. But basically what we're doing is kind of what we did before. We're going to just be drawing a table, and we're going to figure out how many people can sit there. And we're trying to come up with different shapes that will give us the same answer of 18 seats. So you'll see what they did is they have 8 people on this side and 8 people on this side and 1 on each end. And we know that 1 plus 1, sorry, that 1 plus 8 plus 1 plus 8 is 18. 8 plus 8 is 16, 17, 18. So why don't you go ahead and think about it. You can pause the video if you want to take some time. How would you draw some rectangles that would allow space for 18 people to sit all the way around? Okay, I have some ideas here. I am going to draw a rectangle that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 long, and that is 2 wide. We're going to see if this works. So this is 7 on both sides and 2 on both sides. Remember, rectangles, the sides always match up. They always have congruent sides. So let's see if that works. 7 plus 7 is 14, right? Plus 2 more. 14 plus 2 is 16. Plus 2 more, 17, 18. Yep, so here's one of your answers. Don't take up too much space on your page. Just take up a little bit of space because you're going to need lots of space here to draw some different rectangles. Okay, 7 plus 7 plus 2 plus 2. This is one way that we could put the tables together that we could fit 18 guests. Okay, you can pause while you're drawing that. I'm going to move on. Okay, we could also have tables that are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 long, and that are 3 wide. Let's try that. See if I did the math correctly. 6 guests on each side. Whoops, and 3 guests on each side here. See, 6 plus 6 is 12. Plus 3 more. 13, 14, 15. What's 15 plus 3 more? 15 plus 3 more is 18 again, right? So this one also works for 18 guests. There's another way that we could push the tables together to make 18 guests. You can pause while you're drawing that one onto your workbook page. And we're going to do one more. We could also do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 long and 4 wide. Make this rectangle. There we go. And I want you to go ahead and do that math and see whether or not you get 18. I have to grab my charger to plug in my computer. Okay, see if you get 18 when you plug those numbers in. Right, if you added 5 plus 5, you should get 10. 4 plus 4 is 8. And we know that 10 plus 8 is 18. Now my computer won't die on us. All right, so I will show you the answers that we just talked about here. Okay. Here we go. Here are rectangles that we talked about that all equal 18. If you need to take some time to finish drawing those, just pause the video. Okay, I'm going to move on. We are going to move on to the bottom of the page here. You know, we might not worry about this. If you'd like to take some time to do this, go ahead. This is just putting in the width and the length and the perimeter and the area of each of our shapes. So I'll show you on the answer key. What they're saying is that this rectangle that was 2 wide and 7 long, 2 wide and 7 long, its perimeter was 18, and its area on the inside was 14 squares. We can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. A much faster way to find area is to multiply. Remember, when we're solving for area, we can just multiply 7 times 2 is 14. So thinking about that, what is the area of this rectangle? 6 and 3. What is 6 times 3? What is 6 times 3? How many squares are inside? Right? 6 times 3 is 18. This one has a perimeter of 18 and an area of 18, which is really interesting. And we also have this rectangle, which is 5 by 4. What is 5 times 4? How many squares do I have? What's the area? 5 times 4 is 20, right? So we have 20 squares on the inside, but our perimeter is still 18. Perimeter is what we were doing to solve for 7 pages. That's because some of these we can't really do online. We would have to be in the classroom. Okay, so page 207. Oh, it's loading here. We are going to practice doing a little bit of area and perimeter together. And come on, computer. And whoops, there we go. Page 207. We'll do this practice together, and then you guys will also have some Khan Academy assignments this week, which will help you do even more practice with area and perimeter. Okay, so let's look at our example here. To find the perimeter, they added together the lengths of all the sides. So they have 3 plus 3 plus 5 plus 5. Even though these aren't labeled 3 and 5, we know that they are 3 and 5 because this is a rectangle, and a rectangle's sides are always congruent. They always match, right? So if this side is 5, I know that this side is 5. 3 plus 3 and 5 plus 5, our total perimeter is 16 when we add those all together. 3 plus 3 is 6, and 5 plus 5 is 10. 6 plus 10 is 16. The area we multiply. 3 times 5. The total number of squares, the area is 15 square units on the inside. You should be writing square units for all of your area answers. So let's do this one. We just did one like this a minute ago. 5 times 4 is going to be our area, right? And perimeter, we're going to add them all. So go ahead and solve for area and perimeter right now. You can pause your video. Okay, good job. Let's see how you did. So for 207, you should have done for perimeter, 4 plus 4 plus 5 plus 5 is 18. And your area should have been 4 times 5 equals 20 square units. If you need to fix your mistakes, go ahead and fix those now. I'm going to move on. How about B and C? For perimeter, you're going to need to do 6 plus 6 plus 3 plus 3. And for area, you will solve 6 times 3. Remember, perimeter is always adding, area is multiplying. I want you to go ahead and pause the video and try B and C by yourself and see how you do. Okay, when you're done working with that, you can use the answer key to check your work. 3 plus 3 plus 6 plus 6 is 18 for our perimeter. And our area is 3 times 6, which was 18 square units. This one's 18 on the inside and 18 on the outside. And C, 2 plus 2 plus 7 plus 7 is 18. 2 times 7, our area on the inside is 14 square units. Down here at the bottom, this is kind of a weird one. It's a funny shape, right? We're going to try to find the area and perimeter of this shape. So first of all, I want us to look at this. So this is 5 wide, right? And 5 tall over here. But over here, this side is much smaller, and it doesn't tell us what it is. But what we do know is that this little side is 2. And if I know that this side is 5 and this side is 2, I can subtract to figure out that this side must be 3, right? 3 plus 2 gives me the total 5. 3 plus 2. I know this is a little tricky. I wish I could show you in person. 3 plus 2 gives me the total 5. So I know that this side is 3. I know that this side is 5. They don't tell me the length of this smaller side, but I know that this tiny little side is 1. So I can subtract again. 5 minus 1 means that this little side here must be 4. So now we can actually solve for perimeter. We can do 4 plus 5. I would write these down while I say them. 4 plus 5 plus 5 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2. And you can go ahead and do that math. I'll do it with you while you're working on it. I want your pencil moving right now in this blank space. I want you adding these while I'm helping you. 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 plus 5 more is 14. 14 plus 3, 17. 17 plus 1 more is 18. 19, 20. So our perimeter is going to be 20 all the way around. 20. Now for area, I think it's going to be much easier if I draw this on our little chart paper. Let me erase this. So I have 5 by 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this goes up 4, and then I go in 2, up 1, over 3. There we go. So there's our shape. So now for area, what we can do is we can do this. We can draw a little line here, and we can think about this as 2 rectangles added together. So this is 2 wide and 4 long, this one. And I know that 2 times 4 is 8. So the area of this smaller rectangle is 8. Now let's solve for the area of this bigger rectangle. This is 3 wide, right? And this is 5 long. What's 5 times 3? Good job, 15. So this bigger rectangle is 15 and this smaller rectangle is 8. Now we just add both of these areas together and that gives us our total area. What is 15 plus 8? What is 15 plus 8? Let's think. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then 1 plus 1 is 2. So our area must be 23. Let's check our work. Let's see how I did. We did great. Look, our perimeter is 20 units, like we said, and our area is 23 square units. They're showing you here sideways that 2 times 4 is 8 and 3 times 5 is 15. That's just what we did, right? 15 and 8. And then we added those 2 areas together to get 23. Okay? Awesome job, you guys. Thank you for working hard with me on this. Make sure you go back and take time to fix your mistakes if you need to, or if you need to pause and take more time to work, that's fine. You will have Khan Academy assignments this week on area and perimeter. Please reach out to me if you need extra help. Okay, I'd be happy to do a one-on-one Zoom call with you if you feel like you have a lot of questions about this, and if you're confused, I'm happy to help you. Okay, thanks for working hard and listening, and I will see you guys later. Bye.